Hey you all, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to show you how to make lye. That you can take wood ashes and make your lye. You saw me dehair that skin the other day with store-bought lye. But Justin Peden, Spirit of the Outdoors, asked me if this could be made with wood ashes. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I got some fresh wood ashes there out of my stove. I'm going to go down to the creek. I hope I can get through the ice and get some fresh, clean water, soft water to put in here. Put a little bit of water in here, you all. And you can see I'm filtering it. You want to make sure that you don't get any type of metal whatsoever in this. No ferrous or non-ferrous metals. Or do you want to be able to get inside this lye? Because if it does, it's going to mess it up, okay? So what I'm going to do with this lye, you all, is make soap with it, and I'm going to do a video about that. I've already done one, but there's this lady over in Pakistan who was messaging me about this, and so I'm just going to show how to do it again. You can see that I've just got an igloo cooler that I've rigged up a spigot on down here, and I'll take you a picture of that. In the bottom of this thing, you all, this is really, really simple to do. Remember back in the old days, they just, up here in Alleghenies, they usually just took an old gum log. A gum is really, really dense wood. They would just take that plug, they were hollow to boot. They would hollow them out some more, plug them, and then put their ashes in there and pour the water on top of it. They would let it sit there, and then they would drill a hole through that, just a little old hole in the bottom of it, and let that water drip out, and that's how they made their lye. So I'm not going to go through that complicated process. I've got some wood ashes right here that I just took out of the heating stove in my house, you all. Now, this lady wanted to know what kind of ashes to use. All right, you all, how long do you wait? Wait however long you want to. I've made these things in 3 days, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this one sit here and just sit right in that water, those ashes in that water for about 7 days. After that, I'll come back and show you when I pull the lye off and show you just exactly how to concentrate it to make it better lye, okay? Because like I say, I'm going to make liquid lye, not powdered lye, which is a whole lot longer process. But you saw me in a couple of videos here several years ago make some lye. So what we've done, you all, is we've already taken wood ashes, and I took a scuttle full of ashes. I don't know, that's probably about, I'm going to say that's probably about 4 gallons of ashes. I put them in this container, okay. Then I poured on top of that soft water, which I got out of the creek. I warmed it up, of course. I put 2 gallons of water in here, and this has been sitting in here since Saturday, so it's been in there about 4 or 5 days now, okay. So what I'm going to do is pull it off, and we'll show you what it looks like and talk to you a little bit about it. Now, what I'm going to do with it, you all, now Justin Peden asked me, Spirit of the Outdoors, if he could save this like this and then dehair a skin like I showed the other day. Yes, you can do that, and I'll tell you how to do it. But I'm going to make homemade soap, and I like making homemade soap. I just like doing that kind of stuff so that I know how to do it. And there's some that I made several years ago, and I'm still using it here in the workshop. And I do bathe with the stuff as well. But anyway, I'm going to show you what this looks like as it's being pulled off. In other words, back in the old days, you guys, what they did was they just took a stump, a gum tree, or whatever they had. They hollowed it out. They put their ashes and their water inside of it. They drilled a little hole in it so that the water could drip through, slowly drip through the ashes. Then they would collect that, and that's where you get the word potash really come from. It was because ashes was put in a pot to make lye. Now, I did do this on my study years ago. one of the first exports from the New World to the Old World was ashes, because they had burned all the timber up in Europe for war materials. In other words, for blacksmiths. So they didn't have no trees out there to make lye out of, which was a cleaning agent. Okay, because that's exactly what it does. It's for using in soaps and different things like that. The Indians used to use lye to make. They would take corn and make hominy out of it, and that's one of the things that they used it for. But anyway, I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to show you that stuff being drained into this gallon jug, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Now, of course, you all, there's plenty of ways to do this right here, okay? Now you'll notice, you all, that the color of that stuff looks like liquor dripping out of there. All right. And you want it to come out of there slow, because it's actually running through the ashes. And I do have in the bottom of this container here, let me pick the camera up and show you this. In the bottom of this container, I've got limestone gravels up above this piece of pipe. On top of that, I have a cloth laid on top of there, so that actually filters that to some extent, okay? Because that's what you want to do. You want to filter it so that you don't get all your ash material coming out in this particular solution right here. So that's just one way that I do it. And you want to make sure that you don't use anything that's metal, unless it is stainless steel, because this stuff's very corrosive and it's going to eat it up. So you either use a plastic container to make it in now, or a solid wooden one. Make sure there's no metal in it, because the metal will contaminate your liquid, okay? So you don't want to do that. So you can see what it looks like as it's coming out there, okay? Now you all, while we're talking about it, make sure that you use gloves when you're making lye, okay? Because this stuff will eat your hands completely up, okay? It will cause severe burns, put your eyes out, whatever. So just make sure that when you're working with this stuff, you don't poke your hands in it, or don't get it on your skin, don't get it in your eyes, okay? So you want to be careful with that kind of stuff. Now, what I want to say is this: when we've pulled this lye off right here, the way that you test it to see whether it's strong enough to make soap, or especially if you're trying to do that dehairing like I just did on that deer skin, you're going to want to boil it down to where, like you say, let's say you've got a gallon of liquid, you want to boil it down until you've got just about a half a gallon of your liquid. That's going to concentrate your lye water more, and it's going to make it stronger, okay? So what I usually do is I take a feather. I got some turkey feathers hanging in there. So I will take a turkey feather and I will dip it in that liquid, and I'll just hold it there, okay? I won't just drop it down in the liquid. I'll just hold it in the liquid. If the liquid dissolves that feather, then you know it's strong enough, okay? And it's very powerful at that state. Now you will see where people are floating potatoes in it, or like I did in one of my videos, you put an egg in there and see how far the egg floats, or if it floats. They say that if it floats with a quarter size of the top of the egg sticking up out of the liquid, then it's strong enough. But what I found, you all, in my soap making processes, that a couple of times I didn't get it strong enough. So what I had to do was add more of the lye to the solution and go all over again and stir it back up into the soap making solution again. So in another video, I will show you exactly how to take this water right here that I'm pulling off and make homemade soap. So when you're dehairing your skin, what do you want to do? All right, you put just enough water in there to completely cover that whole skin so that it has no folds in it. Okay, where all your water solution can get to it. Okay, just start out with good old warm water, creek water if you got it, or rainwater. Concentrate your lye solution to where it will burn up a feather when you stick it in it. Then just put your 2 cups of that lye solution in there and stir it up with your skin. If you go stronger than that, it will cause your hide to crack. And I learned that from experience. I read that and I thought, well, I wonder if that's really true or not. Well, make no mistake about it, too much lye with your skin, when you start to dry it out and make it into buckskin or just a regular piece of leather, you will see cracks all over that skin as it dries. And it's because you use too much of your lye, or you had too strong of a solution in that lye. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that in there because Justin, you asked me that question. Go ahead and make it just like I'm making it right here. Pull it off, concentrate it, and then store it, okay, in a glass container, all right? And that way you'll have it to use when you get ready. So you all, for some historical purposes, you read your Bible, you'll see the word fuller in there. Well, a fuller is somebody that done the laundry. And this is the very liquid right here that they used to do it with. And they did make soap, you all, back in the Middle Ages, all right? They just learned how to do it. But they had to create this lye solution right here before they done that. I guess some people think that people never used soap back in those days. Well, they did. And you know what some of the scientists say? They say that some caveman was sitting around eating some greasy food, and some of that greasy food dropped off into the wood ashes in the fire, and it turned into soap, and that's how they invented soap. Not. If you think about it, God didn't make men stupid, okay? Men made their own self stupid by not listening to it. God did not create Adam and Eve stupid. And you all, I know I'm going to get asked this question because I get asked it every time. What's the best kind of ashes to use? Hardwood is the best kind of ashes to use to make your lye. But if you don't have hardwood, you can use any type of weed, because that's what they did. They would take any type of ashes that were burned and turn that stuff into lye. So you can use weeds if you want to. Any kind, if that's all you got. Because a lady over in Turkey emailed me a few years ago and asked me what kind of ashes to use. She said that she was going to the local bakery where they still bake the stuff in the ovens, the food, the bread in those outdoor ovens, and she would gather those ashes. She would ask for those ashes from those ovens, take them home, and she would make her lye that way. So you can use any type of material. And I know I'll get asked that question. What's the best kind of ashes to use? Well, hardwood is the best kind because they burn down to literally nothing, okay? But softwood or weeds or anything else will work. Leaves will work. Anything that you burnt to ashes and ground up and concentrated together. Now, you all, another way that you can concentrate this stuff and make it more powerful without boiling it down is you can actually take, once you've drawn it off from this container, you can discard the ashes that's in the container, put you some fresh ashes in there, okay? Pour your lye that you just made back over those ashes and let it sit there for a few days and draw it off again. That way you won't have to boil it down to make it stronger, okay? But I did want to throw that in. That's one of the things that you can do. You can just discard these. All right, you all, right there is some lye that I just pulled off, okay? That's what it's going to look like if you make it yourself, all right? All right, you all, that's all there is to it. And when I do the soap making video, I'll show you just exactly the process that I go through to make homemade soap, okay? That's exactly what that is right there. Homemade soap. And that stuff really works really good too, you all. By the way, this soap floats. And if I think about it, I'll explain how to make it do. You know, when you throw your soap into the water, it goes to the bottom. Well, there's a process that you go through to make your soap float. With that, you all, God bless you. Thank you so much for watching.